Victor, why don't you kick us off? Who's a
My
loser in your opinion?
losers, Germany, for reasons that they should have gone through. Like, you have the highest XG in tournament. I know XG isn't everything, but like, you should have scored 10 goals. You make it through if you score 10 goals in the group stage.
Yeah.
And they didn't, because they fell asleep for 15 minutes against Japan. It's a harsh punishment.
They were beat decisively by Japan. I need
to collect myself for a moment.
I think Hansi Flick got exposed.
No.
Your golden boy got exposed a little
Hansi
bit.
Flick is the answer. Don't fire him, Germany.
He
They're not
is
going
a
to.
little stubborn with the squad selection. Doesn't know where to put some of his best players. And I don't know. Fulkrug should have started.
If you actually watched the Germany-Japan game and you think Japan deserved in like, oh, they created more chances or higher danger chances or like any way of we measure deserve to win soccer, then you are. I can't help you. Like, nobody can help you.
It wasn't like kamikaze Mongol invasion level of luck. No, it was a little luck. There was a little luck in there, but also defensively, Germans just couldn't really break them down. A lot of half chances.
They missed Gnabry missed 2 sitters. Musiala missed an open net.
And the Japanese goalkeeper gifted y'all. I'm gonna say y'all. You sound like a German. Gifted y'all a penalty. Literally high school soccer penalty.
A little suspect there. You look like you look very good in 13-1, black and red.
But Japan and Moriyasu don't start playing until the second half, Victor.
Yeah, I did say that after the freaking Spain game. I was like, well, they're a good second half team. I'll give them that. But like,
because that's when they put their best players in.
I think it was 9-1 in the Spain game in shots in the first half. So they're not. They really don't like that first half.
You're sounding a little suspect right now. I'm supposed to be the secret German here, not you.
All right. Well, I think Germany deserved to go through on Japan's behalf, and I'm not gonna it wasn't luck. Well, it was unlucky of Germany, but I'm not saying Japan got through on luck. I'm just saying Germany were unlucky in not making it through because they should have. Goals, you can always say, oh, they should have finished their chances and stuff, but that's not really how it's usually in a longer tournament or in a season, you're gonna regress to reach the 10 goals. Should have been what they should have scored. You're not gonna do that in 3 games, maybe, but if you play 38 games, you're gonna reach that number or pretty close to it. So that's why I'm gonna say Germany should have gone through.
Well, these games just happen to be the exception, and I do agree with
and
you.
It happens.
It does happen. It does happen. Unlucky that it happened here, but I think Japan definitely deserves some credit, and for
sure,
it to happen with 2 teams almost in a row, or just to have an unsatisfying result against Spain. I think
they were worse than Spain.
They were worse than Spain.
They were worse. Germany deserved to lose that game. If we really want to say that they should have beat Japan, they should have lost to Spain.
It was a pretty even game.
Oh my lord!
No. Yeah, look.
Germany had 20 good minutes max of that game. If Murata could, he had a good finish in that game, but he probably should have had a brace. Spain had better chances. Danny almost should have scored. No, Spain should have won that game 3-1.
Okay, so Spain should have lost against, or Germany should have lost against Spain, but they should have still had 6 points.
Look, the amount of preparation that went into this German squad, they quietly looked very dangerous, and I'm going to defend my own take here because I had them going through.
Please do.
And I was very not optimistic about them because that insinuates that I want them to win, but I was very hesitant and wary of them because, it looked like all the pieces were being set. They've got a new coach. They've got older players voluntarily bowing out. Not because they want to, but they'd rather give the younger guys a chance to get, some more experience. It just looked like the stars were kind of aligning for this German team. And they couldn't get Die Mannschaft enough gas. The machine just was not functioning at a high enough capacity. Whether these games were exceptions or not, that's up for interpretation, which I'm sure we'll hear more about as soon as I finish speaking here. But yeah, it wasn't their tournament, and they're losers for that. Hold that L. Hold that L, Germany.
Right here, baby.
Right here.
Right there, baby.
Honestly, what does this remind you of? It reminds you of the boot that they like to drink out of over there.
There we go. It was written in the stars.
You get to take a long, deep, long drink from there. Oh yeah, don't pour it over anybody's head. You got to finish that bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Think about what you did.
Oktoberfest might be canceled next year because of this result.
Outstanding.
I think Hansi Flick just got it wrong. And I think that
In what way?
He
I
brought
don't
up Mario Götze.
You shouldn't have done that, I guess. But I love Mario Götze.
see.
so
I
you'll never
said
say
that, and then Frankfurt fans got mad at me,
Mario Götze.
and they were like,
we all
"Jack
like
clearly doesn't watch Bundesliga," which is partially true because Mario Götze has been going off. I mean, guys, I'm one man. I can't watch every single game. Like Jesus Christ, but
He only has one TV.
I only have one TV. It might be big, but it's just one. Anyways, I feel like the substitutions came too late. I think Füllkrug absolutely has to start. The false nine with Thomas Müller didn't work. The German back line, not his fault, but he's weak.
Yeah, I agree.
It's weak.
If Sule does his job on the Japan second goal, this never happens.
Yeah.
But look, there's a lot of moments like that in a game or in a tournament, so you can't really say it. But like the crisis that are like German soccer that everybody's talking about, I don't think it exists. It's one moment that led.
Agreed.
Like, they tied Spain, which is fine. Like that's a reasonable result. They beat Costa Rica. That game turned into like a crazy fest at the end because what the situation was.
Yeah.
But like, I don't think they're the biggest losers for me because they were the most well-deserved team to make it through that didn't make it through, like based on their games. Like, I'm not telling you that Belgium deserved to make it through because they played 20 minutes of good football. Denmark doesn't deserve to make it through at all because they were terrible the whole tournament. But Germany, I think, deserved to make it through because they were actually good.
Can I say that Belgium were not even on my losers because, Connor, like you said, I just didn't think they were going to do anything.
Like, I mean, they reached a round of 16 knockout.
They were, if they even got there. Like, I mean, you and I have talked about this off camera. Like, Belgium is just so overrated by everybody for some reason because of like FIFA ratings, because of rankings in FIFA, but for some reason we just have this completely false narrative that this team is top 5 in the world, and it's not. They achieved plenty, and it's time for the cycle to end. And honestly, Roberto Martinez is not a good manager.
No.
I had them. I think even going through at number 1 just because I was feeling particularly uninspired, so I just put down on paper. But yeah, no, they really didn't deserve. I'm completely unsurprised. Every time their games are on, I was like, sucks for them. Like, makes sense. Like, no offense. I like Belgium. I like the Red Devils. It's fun. I was super hyped about them in 2018. They were my World Cup pick after Argentina got out. I was like, please, I'm rooting for you guys. And then just watching them in the Euros, watching them occasionally now and then. It's just depressing. Kevin De Bruyne's my fucking boy. Yeah. I love that guy. And I even like Torgan Hazard to an extent. But, I mean, brutal. Brutal to watch them play. Boring football.
Super boring.
He might be the first person who's ever had an opinion about Torgan Hazard. Like, he's just there. Like,
I liked him. I liked him.
Argue about Eden Hazard, but Torgan Hazard, has those words ever been said?
Look, I did.
Like, nobody has.
His parents probably said it one time.
Nobody hates him, and nobody likes him. He's just there.
He's just there.
He's just like the classic, like random 78 rated player in FIFA.
Yeah, you're like, oh yeah,
that's why I enjoyed him because everybody's losing their mind about Eden, and I'm like, you know what? Torgan's trying his best.
You pitied him.
I like.
That's what it sounds like.
All right.
No, it's not.
Maybe
pity.
recognize himself there.
My guy. I did. Yeah.
I'm trying to
absolute mediocrity on the football pitch. I'm your guy. 100%.
Actually, I think I said this. I think I said this in our prediction. I said if Yannick Carrasco does not score, Belgium will not go through. And he didn't score.
There we go.
They didn't score. They scored 1, I guess.
That's why I had 1. That was it.
Wild.
So Lukaku should have had a hat trick against Croatia.
He should have. I mean, the first one was tough, but he should have had the second 2 without a doubt. Like, has to be in.
Lukaku in the mud.
Look like some of our. Never mind. I'm not going to put anyone in blast.
Let's not go there. Let's not go there.
I'm not going to put anyone in blast. I would say bright spot for Belgium. I thought Jeremy Doku looked dangerous. Kind of embarrassing. He got like 18 minutes at the entire World Cup, and Hazard got 180. I feel like the next managers have him come in and start. Is this controversial to say? This is controversial. I don't know why I'm asking. I almost feel like a loser are teams that came into this World Cup trying to make a social statement. You know, you got the Germans coming in, doing that whole thing. You got Denmark kind of like erasing their badge. I only said Germany and Denmark because I feel like Denmark made a big statement with what they decided to do. I mean, mute in the long run, but in terms of like a team-wide stance, with the logo being kind of like grayed out or whatever it was, Germany deciding to cover their mouths in the game, and they didn't even really make it far enough to make an impact. And on top of that, their performance on the pitch was shit. Germany's wasn't shit, but Denmark were awful. And you have to wonder if that stuff might even be a distraction to some of these teams. When you have like two objectives instead of one being win, maybe that has a negative impact on play. I don't know. I
don't know if it has. I think it's just like coincidence that those teams went out. Like, I don't think it has any effect on what happens on the field whatsoever. Because I think this is probably a discussion they have for like 10 minutes. It's not like they skipped like, oh, we're not gonna care about tactics against Japan.
No, you're completely right. You're completely right.
Talk about
we're skipping a film day.
We're not skipping the film day. We're just like
in the Middle East.
It's probably a conversation that happens well before the tournament, and like the Denmark shirts, it was manufactured like a long time ago. Like it's not gonna affect them now. I think they were Denmark were arrogant. They thought the whole world thought so highly of them that they started to believe it themselves, and that's why they went out. Yeah. And they are the biggest losers because I have never been more disappointed in that. Like, I don't even like Denmark. Like, we Swedes hate Denmark, but like,
sounds a little xenophobic.
Why?
Because you said that you don't like the Danes.
I don't.
Why?
But that's like rivalry hate.
Okay.
Oh, it's rivalry hate. All right. So if you mean like a Danish person, if we bring him, actually, I'm going to bring my Danish friend Jürgen on. That's a Swedish name, huh? That was offensive. I think.
Casper. That's a Danish name.
Yeah, Casper.
There we go.
With a K.
I've got my boy Hamlet on the pod, actually.
Yeah, maybe we don't like him. They're better than us in soccer right now, and like they're better in a lot of things. But this tournament was bittersweet. But I expected more, and I kind of wanted more. I didn't want them to lose to Australia and go out in the group like that because that was kind of.
Yeah, it looks bad. It looks bad when your biggest rivals, can't even compete with Australia. You're like, shit, what does that make us?
Yeah, it looks bad. I think it looks bad on European like soccer at that point. Like, stop it. Like, you're making us look bad.
Who's better at hockey?
Stop.
Oh, Sweden for sure.
Sweden for sure. Okay. Who's got more attractive women?
Sweden
for sure.
Okay, then I don't know what the big deal is.
Well,
y'all are fine.
Yeah, I guess.
Y'all are clear in my book.
Yeah, y'all are clear.
They could have been better at everything else. You would have just said we have prettier women. I'd been like, take me there.
Right.
I'd rather be better at soccer.
And the Danish got what? An open face sandwich is a national.
Well, you're a good
lunch item. No. That's trash. I know Sweden. Y'all got like what? Fermented fish and stuff.
Yeah. Don't eat that shit.
Don't eat that shit. I was excited for that.
Don't eat that shit.
Don't eat that shit. All right, we'll go to like with soups and stuff. No, Denmark, huge losers. Kasper Jomond, I think huge loser. I think like his managerial profile was getting like ballooned up a lot.
I mean, he's barely ever. All he's done is win so far, though. So like, I don't understand it, except the season in Mainz, I guess. But it wasn't like terrible, was it? I don't remember. But anything else, he's taken like a Danish like pretty small side to the title like twice, and anything he's done with Denmark has been fantastic.
Yeah. So
like, I'm not surprised that his manager profile was. I heard something like people were like asking if he should get sacked. Like people that weren't from Denmark was like, do they sack him now? And he's like a godfather. There's no way in hell they'll sack him.
I was gonna say that'd be a terrible mistake.
Yeah,
I feel
they will never sack him.
Yeah, I mean he's still a good manager. I just feel like I think you're right. Maybe everything got to the players' heads. Maybe they did take their eye off the ball a little bit, and we're already thinking about that, knockout round before they even got there.
Yeah.
So that's a big one for me. Connor, I think you'll like this one. I'm gonna say it again. Uruguay, big loser for me, man. How bad they were. It's not just the fact that they finished where they finished. It's how bad Uruguay were. I mean, you might as well have just stuck with Tavares if you're going to come out and play like this at the World Cup. Diego Alonso looked out of his depth, to be fair. I think it was maybe Albert or somebody who raised some concerns about him, like as a manager when the going gets tough. And I think that kind of proved correct. Like he looked out of ideas. He has no idea how to utilize the midfield, which should be one of the best ones of the World Cup. Valverde, Bentancur, and Vecino. They didn't create anything.
Yeah, I think the midfield just seemed to make some foolish mistakes that I don't know if it was necessarily the manager's fault. Maybe he out uh he outmaneuvered himself, maybe. But the mistakes that I saw coming from the midfield seemed to be player mistakes, like the option to take that free kick in the last game instead of like passing it off, foolish.
Yeah, but
The
that's from a substitute.
Oh, right, but over the top ball, that doesn't matter. That's still part of the game plan. That is still a player mistake there. Like, I guarantee you, he didn't tell that substitute, go out there, take that banger free kick. That was the player's decision. That was the player's decision and the guy next to him. Those are the two people making that decision. And who was it? Cavani that was standing next to him during that free kick? Who was it next to him?
Maybe Valverde or something. I don't
Maybe
remember.
Valverde, something like
Yeah.
that. That's that guy's job to be like, look, you fucking idiot. You have 4 guys on the right, wide open right now. If you take this, I'm going to beat the shit out of you in the locker room. On the flight home, I'm going to throw you out of the plane. That's on him.
And that I
They got to
agree.
look out for themselves. Then the balls over the top. Even Valverde made some pretty sus passes over the top there. They had one push before or right after that free kick where they had it was like a minute and a half left. And you knew they were going to add another minute on top of there. And he just shot this long ball, gave the ball straight to the opposition. They kicked it out and they wasted a minute with a substitute. And I was like, you idiot. That's on you. You just lost this game for sure. That was a major opportunity. You could have floated the ball around the back line, maybe done a couple more of those crosses. Who knows? You shoot a long ball in. Somebody gets ballsy. It was to me that was players. I still rate this coach. I think he's done a good job.
Do you think Uruguay are losers though?
Yeah, I expected them to do a lot more. So this, you know what? My saying that they're losers is my own bias here because I expected a lot more from them. I wanted a lot more from them. So yeah, in my mind, in my heart right now, they're losers. They hurt my feelings right there. I'm a little disappointed in them. So I'm going to call them losers. And I hope they prove me wrong. I hope they prove me wrong. I want to see a great Copa America from them because they deserve it.
What did you think about Uruguay?
I hadn't seen much of them before, so I'm surprised tactically. I'm surprised.
As am I.
I think we talked about this, but in the first game of South Korea, they were sitting so deep. Like there was a lot of teams that did this in the tournament. Belgium was an example too of teams who sat deep against teams they're clearly so much better than. That is just the biggest no for me tactically. Like if you're better than a team, you press them because they will give up the ball more than you do.
Yes.
And with the midfield like that, you got Bentancur, who's basically a box-to-box god, and you don't press him and like use the counter, like use them attacking you and then attack on their attack. Instead, you wait till you're all the way down to your own half. You're really far from your goal. You're like, oh well, we got Nunez, who's a big loser for me this tournament because
it was
a bad performance.
Good
He
one.
was bad. He was
That
bad.
was a good one. That was good. Liverpool in the mud right now.
They might be.
Yeah, them and Inter have had some players who have had some terrible performances. But so I think shocking tactically, and they didn't change it to Portugal. They played the same way, and their only tactic seemed to be to hit it over the top, get Nunez and Cavani or Suarez in the run with the defenders, and I think it changed when they put Arrascaeta, I think his name is right, on the midfield. When he came in, their balance kind of shifted. He came up higher in the pitch, and I thought it was very evident against Ghana that was the right move. But I think it changed when they put him in against Portugal too. They kind of got a hold of the game a little more.
Yeah.
So tactically, some pretty simple mistakes, I think, against teams that they should have been better at. Against, and you got to take advantage of those because that's where you're going to get the points in the World Cup most of the time.
No, and that's what I mean. It's like they were like lacking confidence as a team. I mean, I couldn't believe that they were letting Korea just dominate the ball like that.
No.
I mean, I love Korea, but with all due respect, the Korean midfield should have gotten absolutely bodied by Uruguay's midfield.
Yeah.
And Korea is not good at playing out from the back. If you would have pressed them, they would have made a mistake. And instead, Uruguay their game plan was like, let's just eat pressure for 80 minutes and then try to hit him on the counter. And it was just like the most questionable strategy. And they look completely devoid of any offensive ideas.
Yeah, and if you're going to hit teams on the counter, you got to have people. You hold up the ball and get your runners in it, like your wingers, wingbacks, or your midfielders or somebody. But it was just like They just like sent up the ball and then they all just stood there.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. There was nobody there to clean up mistakes either, which really
You
bothered
talking
me.
about like defensively?
No, offensively. So like if a ball hits the crossbar and like comes back, and you know what? I can't give you a specific example, but I just vaguely remember like balls hitting crossbars and like rebounds going into the box, and you're like, okay, where are they? Nobody. You're like,
Yeah.
shouldn't somebody be running up right now?
Yeah.
Where are they? What the hell's
Lack of
going on here?
urgency, I'd call it. They
A lack of urgency. And
looked
maybe that comes from like an aging front line, like what your only speed is coming from Nunez on the left, and like, I mean, that man looked like he couldn't beat somebody to save his fucking life. Like, get him down the middle, put him at 9, and get some younger wingers out there so that he doesn't have to do the running.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it looks entirely too easy. Cavani's still, I think he's still really good. I still really rate him, but Cavani Suarez, you're not worried about that. Like he can get 3 or 4
Well,
steps.
Suarez should
ahead
not
of me.
start. He
No,
should
he
not
shouldn't.
start, and he started 2 games.
Yeah, that man
Like-
should have. He should have. It would have been really convenient for Uruguay if he had transformed into more of like a Harry Kane-esque player as he got older. Kind of the transformation that Harry Kane did from like just a out and out goal scoring 9 to a guy who's going to give you 3 assists. You know what I'm saying? Like if Suarez had that capability, put him at false 9 or something. Put him at the 10 even. I don't know. Do something with him, but I mean, it just didn't look like he could really produce that, or they weren't set up for that. Like you said, lack of offensive creativity.
It's at the
Just
formation too, though. Like if you're just going to keep playing a 4-4-2, it's like with 2 aging forwards, especially when Nunez isn't on the field, it's just like I think a lot of teams probably found Uruguay predictable.
Yeah, they did. The scoreline says that.
2 goals at the World Cup.
No,
like
with an attacking lineup that 190 million for Nunez, and then 2 of the most prolific European strikers in the last decade. Yeah, come on.
one of the most, probably 2 of the most informed midfielders going into the World Cup, in
Yeah.
Bentancur and Valverde.
Yeah.
And you do that?
You don't use them?
It was
Did
just
you see
unreal.
Valverde? Did he play? Like, does anybody know?
he did fuck
He
all
played.
in Korea. I can't remember if it was, I think it was Portugal. He puts Arrascaeta through.
Yeah,
Maybe, do you remember that? And he like shoots it right at the keeper. He like
Yeah.
toe pokes. Was that Portugal?
That was against Portugal, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So he had like that
That
good
was after
moment.
they scored.
He had a good through ball today as well when Uruguay needed that third, and I can't remember who bottled it. But somebody did. And so he had like these few flashes. It kind of looked like he was being restrained though, and tactically, and that's why I go back to Diego Alonso. It just felt like he had the game plan completely wrong, was not utilizing the best players where they needed to be, and
Yeah.
the players themselves though didn't show up.
No.
Yeah.
They didn't show up.
Neither of them showed up. He didn't do them any favors, and they didn't provide any excellence. So you know what? Maybe you're right. Maybe there's not much. I don't know, to look forward to. Maybe there's like a couple rough years ahead of them, but I don't think they should sack him or anything just yet. I think he's got more to give, and there's a lot to learn from this World Cup. And maybe we see a little bit of a rebuild here. That'd be really nice if they could get it together. When is the next Copa America? Is it next year?
2024.
2024?
Yeah, 2024 Ecuador, I think is when it is.
That'd be nice. That'd be really nice. That'd be fun if we could see a good Uruguay. It's been a while since they have been where they deserved. We haven't seen a truly threatening Uruguay since Medel put his finger up Cavani's ass. So
that was the moment. Broke him.
It broke them. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong, dude. They played a hell of a game.
I mean, you could probably pinpoint that as the end of the Uruguayan era. Was that moment in the semifinal? I know you were watching that Copa, right, Victor?
No, probably not. Sadly.
He had some
Was
fermented
it on at the
fish.
same time with the Euros? Then I was definitely not.
Oh, you definitely were.
He had that fermented fish. He was like, "This is fucking."
Yeah, it was
delicious.
like, damn, this is ass, and so is this game. Can I ask you guys? Would you consider Mexico losers?
No,
Why?
because I, having lived here now for a while and seen a lot of Mexico games, I don't rate them very highly, so I didn't expect them. I had Poland going through, not because I think Poland's a good team, but just because I think they're slightly better than Mexico at the moment. And it's as fine as the margins because Poland are trash.
They are trash. Okay.
But that just tells you how trash Mexico is.
If you had to compare Mexico to a European team, what would you say is like the closest like for like?
Oh, God. Interesting. I think Poland is such a good. If Poland didn't have Lewandowski, I feel like that would be like the greatest comparison. But obviously,
No,
there's,
but
like,
if Raul
aging.
Jimenez had never gotten injured and they had like a really prolific
There's like
striker in him,
aging. They had like a good generation that's now aging. Like Mexico had the generation before this one. Poland was like at 2010, right? They were highly rated. 2014. Which one was it? They were ranked third in the world or something for at one point.
wow,
But
maybe it was 2014.
but they had a good generation going, and now they don't really. They have some guys coming up, but like it's just an aging team, an aging core, and it's just not. So kind of fitting that they had to play each other. I wish Saudi Arabia could have made it through, so we could have just washed Mexico and Poland, because that game was probably the worst one in the World Cup too.
Oh, it was the worst. It was the worst game at the World Cup.
Mexico might have been the worst team to watch at the World Cup.
Oh, without a doubt, I can tell you, dude. I think I watched almost every single game. They were the worst team to watch the World Cup.
So that tells you all you need to know about Mexico.
Yeah.
Retool, restructure your development, come back in 2026. You might not be good, but you might be exciting.
What do you think, Connor? Mexico losers?
I think that my expectations were so low for them coming into this, just because I pay more credence to your takes on Mexico than I do my own eyes. So I had them ready to play abysmally, but they didn't play exciting football. They didn't play good football, but they played
Hell no.
competitive football in some situations. So
Maybe for 10 minutes.
it's not for 10 minutes, for more than that.
They were awful, dude.
I thought Connor said they were great
okay.
against Argentina.
They were
I
not.
didn't. They played
We
competitively
cannot
against-
open this can of worms again. Oh my god. We'll just agree to disagree. You guys can go watch our Argentina Mexico match reaction.
You go and watch it. You kind of bossed me around in that video, but I'm fucking sticking to my guns. I'll go back and I'll watch that video. There's a reason Argentina only scored 2. Argentina played better than we did in San Antonio against the Mexico team in, what was that, 2019?
Something like that.
And Mexico played better than they did in that game too. So,
well, Mexico they lost 4-0. I mean, they were like absolutely.
Yeah, they lost 4-0, but Argentina came to play better than they did in San Antonio. So, what does that say? Did Mexico get worse from then? No, they didn't get worse. They got better. There were bright spots in this fucking Mexican team. If you and the Mexico fan base doesn't want to admit it, that's entirely up to you. But from what I
would
saw,
call it stagnation. Definitely not improvement.
Dude, that's stagnation. They Argentina got less goals in while they were playing better. Well, what fucking happened there? The football fairy came down and played on Mexico's side? No. Mexico had good moments. There was a midfield that Argentina could not break through for a solid 45. So whatever fucking math that equals out to, does that still mean the Mexico's ass? I don't know. The numbers don't add up there for me. But I'll go back and I'll do my homework and I'll rewatch that game, and I'm happy to eat my words just like the fucking Moroccans are making me, okay? I'm happy to do that. That's
Excellent.
Sport. That's what I love. But for right now, you can fuck yourself. So no, I don't think they're God. You know what? Fuck this. You've gotten me all worked up. They're not losers. They're the heroes of the tournament. Pat that in.
You can say Mexico fans are losers because they had to watch that bullshit for 3 games. But we did see the end of Tata. So that's a positive. Yes. Unfortunately, it came at the expense of 4 years of our lives. So I'm not gonna put Mexico.
Can I give you my actual take so I don't absolutely get blasted again? Because good God, that gets exhausting. My hairline is receding. I think that, like you said, it's stagnation. It's a stalemate. We didn't get excellence from them. We didn't get anything bad. We got a mediocre performance from guys who showed up and played a C- World Cup. C- World Cup. They almost went through. Had they gone through, wouldn't have been any cause for celebration because you know they're going to get massacred. That Mexico team against France, ooh, querido. That would be bad. And you almost want to see that. You almost want like a humiliating exit so that there's major restructuring. But you know what? There's going to be some assholes in the federation who, like me, are talking about some of the good things that Mexico's done. You need some humiliating footnote to make everybody forget every single goal, every single bright spot, every single minute of good football they played, so that you can start the rebuild, not tomorrow, not in a few weeks after the World Cup, not in a couple months, once the federation comes back from one of their many summer homes that they get from the Liga MX revenue that they make by keeping all their youngsters over there. You need reform to happen now. You need these kids to go out. And I talked about this. I hopped on my buddy's podcast, the Chicken Fried Football Podcast. You can find it on
Shout out to those
Spotify.
guys.
Shout out to those guys. I'll plug it at the end too. But we talked about it on there. You need that reform. That reform has got to happen now. There's got to be something deep and structural, a la Argentina after 2018. I mean, there's a reason Messi retired twice. It's because flights weren't getting booked. Games weren't getting scheduled properly. They weren't, coordinating with Barcelona like they should. They were making his life hell. And Mexico, not that they have like a star that they're going to disappoint like that, but Jack, you've talked about this a million times. There are young guys who aren't getting playing time that they need. They aren't getting European opportunities. They aren't even going to the MLS as much as they need to. And the rate of turnover that we're seeing from the MLS now, Almada getting a call up to Argentina, playing in the MLS, getting World Cup game time, playing in the MLS, unheard of. Unheard of. Send guys to the MLS. Send guys overseas. There's got to be restructuring. Like you said, this Mexico needed something humiliating to happen right now. So looking forward, we can hope, but I don't know what the result from the stalemate that they've received this time is. I don't know what it is.
No, that's fair.
I don't know. I couldn't predict anything from this. Because what? It was kind of like a wishy-washy, oh no, we got unlucky.
All right, so we got to wrap up here because we don't have much more time. Does anybody have any other losers? We can just do this like rapid fire. Like it can be like small. We don't have to go in-depth discussion. Like anything. Connor, you got one? Victor, you got one?
None that I can think of right now.
Okay. Connor, you got one?
I'm trying to think. Lautaro has been really quiet. I want him to find his energy. I wouldn't go so far as to call him an outright loser, but
yeah,
it's close. It's close. He's on the verge of having a pretty brutal World Cup if he doesn't find some semblance of form.
Just like a outright Golden Boot winner. Like, do we have Mbappe? What does he have? 3?
Mbappe, Gakpo both have 3, right?
Yeah, it's just
somebody else has 3.
Inter Valencia has 3, right?
And Valencia had 3. Yeah.
But he's not gonna score anymore.
And he's done. So
I just feel like there's
you're
not,
right.
like,
he's not.
There's not that like 2014 Thomas Mueller. Like,
yeah. Like how many does Morata got? He's got 2.
3. He's got 3. Right?
He's got 3. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, he could get a 4th.
Yeah,
he could get a 4th.
But I lack that like monster performance against.
Yeah.
Mbappe is pretty close to it, but like since he got rested and stuff, it's kind of like out of your memory. But if he continues going, but he already had one in 2014. I want something new.
Yeah.
Give me something new.
No hat tricks and stuff. I'm gonna say that the Canada hype train was a big loser, bro. I don't think Canada were losers because I said in our video, if they score a goal, big dub, bro. You haven't been here in a long time. Been 40 years since you're at the World Cup. If you can score a goal, big dub. And they did that. But that was it. And honestly, I'm going to have to highlight Jonathan David. I thought he particularly was extremely disappointing. He did almost nothing at the World Cup. And Borjan, their goalkeeper, Jesus Christ. This guy was a stud during World Cup qualifying, turned into a different person for the World Cup.
Turns out playing Panama twice is not the same as playing Croatia.
Who would have thought that would not be good preparation for playing the World Cup champions?
I think I'm a loser for buying into that hype train. How about
you
that?
are a loser for buying into that hype train.
I thought they were like a hip team. Like they'd be fun to watch. But nobody ever thought they were actually going to do anything right.
They kind of were fun to watch. Like the Belgium game, they were fun to watch. Croatia, they just got manhandled.
It's like they didn't know how to like defend all of a sudden.
Yeah.
They forgot.
I mean, in that Morocco game, like their goalkeeper, Borjan, literally gifts Morocco the first goal. Like he passes it to Ziyech, who then just chips him. It might have been the second goal, but regardless, I mean, it killed the game. It was the first one. Yeah. Just like, and this is a guy who didn't really make any mistakes that I can recall in World Cup qualifying. He probably had a howler here and there, but he was very good, especially against the U.S. and Mexico. And he was terrible. I thought the the Canadian back line, like you guys said, historically very difficult to score against in the past year and a half. Wasn't that hard in the World Cup?
Yeah.
Is it a loss for MLS? Like, because we always the U.S. national team debate.
It's always a loss for MLS.
Yeah, but like you actually got to see what a bunch of guys from MLS who are the Canadian backline would do against like top tier. Even though like the World Cup isn't the highest, like the Champions League is higher quality, but like now you get to see them against the world's best, and now you get to see what happens. Like, was it a loss for MLS in that way? Because like they have other bright spots, but like maybe MLS defending, which I'm always like really harsh on because I think
It's trash.
it's so bad. Like it looks crazy out there compared to like a normal game, I'd say. But so maybe it was just like a loss for MLS defending.
Interesting. Loss for MLS. Possibly. I think it's look, it's not a dub for MLS.
The US are kind of like weighing it up, but they're doing it without a lot of MLS guys.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they got guys on the roster, but they're mostly on the bench. And then Shaq Moore comes in. Zimmerman got benched.
Almada got a few minutes
the
though.
US kind of gets
Almada got a few minutes. Yeah, but he's, is he like a?
He's not an MLS guy.
He's not an MLS product. Yeah, that's what I would say.
That's
like
fair.
Shaqiri got a goal today. He's playing for the Chicago Fire. We're gonna say that's a dub for the MLS. I tweeted
Dub
that
for the
like
MLS,
sarcastically. I tweeted that sarcastically during the game, but yeah, maybe a little bit. Again, maybe it's like Mexico. Like I have no expectations for MLS, so I wouldn't really categorize it as an L. But I can see how you would.
I just see the hype for MLS being so like you had a guy on there that said there was the 6th best league in the world or whatever. Like we need to calm it down a little bit.
Who said there was 6 bets?
Cheyenne, right?
He said, "Oh yeah, he did." Oh, that was. I mean, we pounced.
Well,
on
that's
it for
Cheyenne, baby.
Yeah. I mean, Cheyenne also said Portugal dead last, no points, I believe, or maybe he said 1 point.
Like,
He in the mud.
Sorry.
Who's this guy that he had picked to have the Golden Boot? Is an Iranian guy? Iranian, sorry.
Oh, it's probably Taremi. I mean, it was definitely
Taremi. Yeah, there it is.
without a doubt. Yeah.
All right.
Without a doubt, it's Taremi. And Taremi had 2.
He had 2 against England, right? Or did he score 1 against England?
No, he had 2. He had a
one.
brace against England.
Okay.
Yeah, so
All right.
Penalty in the open. Yeah. No, he was good. He was good.
he's
Better
not
than
a bad
Jonathan
player.
David. Jonathan David didn't do shit.
And Jonathan David, still, let's get calm down here because we saw a combined USA Netherlands roster. So I just want to. This is not anything to do with a loser, but I just want to. Jonathan David is better than Tim Way. Is that you say his name? Way.
Weah.
Oh,
yes, he's better.
Yeah.
Connor, stop.
So can we please
stop
saying
Okay,
that
all
Tim
right,
Weah
chill out.
is better than Memphis
You're a
Depay?
stats man.
No,
you're a stats
no,
man.
I
This
never
guy's
said-
got 6 goals and assists for the same team that Jonathan David putting up like 20 and what? Something.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Like
bro.
it's no contest.
Right.
It's no contest. They basically play the same
all right.
position.
That's
But-
fair. I'm admitting I'm riding the way a hype train right now. Okay.
You just like his face.
Yeah, we need to I'm not a
love
loser.
his
Twitter is a loser in this. This is my final take. Is that Twitter is a loser in all this because the hype of certain players during a World Cup, and we see them then get bought by better teams, and it never works out. So I
like
think
specifically Americans or everybody.
everybody, like
Everybody.
James Rodriguez.
Yeah.
There's always won every World Cup.
Who do you think is going to be this World Cup based on the group stage?
It might be Gakpo.
No,
What if
'cause
goes
Gakpo is
somewhere
actually
and he doesn't
good.
do well. Well, so is James Rodriguez.
I don't know. I'm worried that it's going to be Tim Weah.
Dude, it could be Tim Weah.
Yeah.
I've seen some like Prem links.
Yeah.
Like, no, dude.
I'm worried.
No. It's just not going to work out.
But
Not going to be boy Pavlovic from Serbia.
no, because he's a real prospect, right? He's like,
I'm scared it
like
could be
Pavlovic.
Enzo Fernandez.
but there was just systematic defending that let Serbia down. Let's not go there. I think Pavlovic is a real deal.
I mean, it already was Alexander Isak.
That
He
guy's
even made it
good.
to the World Cup.
Yeah.
That man's so overrated.
All right.
Good
He's better
lord.
than Tim Weah. And
He is better than Tim Weah. He
Let's
is better
do
than Tim Weah.
But stop overrating Tim Weah.
Yeah.
Twitter, please stop.
USMNT, probably another loser.
I
Twitter.
don't even follow y'all. You just pop up. Like, stop.
It's because they know that they elicit an emotional response, so the algorithm keeps putting
the
this stuff in front of
algorithm
you.
just keeps popping up. But if you put Tim Weah before Memphis Depay in a combined lineup, 11 lineup,
Shit, dude.
I just you need to stop.
That's hilarious.
You
Yeah,
do
you
need
gotta
to
chill
stop.
out.
You do need to stop. I think last loser that we have to mention is Qatar.
Yeah.
0 points as the host nation.
And now they're all on Twitter trying to say, "Oh, we expected that."
No,
No, you did not.
No.
You thought you were going to make it out of the group. You thought maybe 4 points was going to be enough and you're going to crawl out of there or you're going to put up a good show. But that was embarrassing.
Nah, dude.
It
A
was
lot of
brutal.
people, I saw a lot of brackets. Qatar getting second, making to the knockout round. Embarrassing. Like, honestly, I think that might have been the worst take that anybody could have had in this entire World Cup is if you had Qatar going through. There would, like, if you watch football, Qatar was not going to do anything.
So I just want to also do, then I always want to put out a big, like, what happened to Asia 2019 when Qatar won the Asian Cup. I just want to know, what were you all doing? Because we saw this national team. We saw the other Asian teams. 3 of them made it out of the group stage. What were you all doing in 2019?
I know that Japan in the final. So I actually did not watch the 2019 Asian Cup. I don't know how I didn't. I didn't know it was going on or something, but
Fake fan.
It always surprised me when it's like,
I'm
they had an
obviously
Asian Cup.
fair weather. But when I saw the Qatar beat Japan, I was like completely blown away. And I don't know firsthand because I haven't been able to find like a full match replay. But the first Qatar goal is like purely off of a like Japanese error. And then it seemed like Japan had to go for it. They were open and then Qatar took advantage. And like a lot of people who were like, I'll say unbiased, like Asian fans, like people who are like Australian or something, they don't really have skin in that game. A lot of them said that like Japan were just a little unlucky. But I mean,
yeah, but they should never even made the finals. Like after watching them play, I know it's like 3 years later now, whatever. It's different team, but it's basically the same guys.
It was also maybe you could argue kind of a pseudo home tournament as well. It was in the UAE. I mean, it's literally next door.
Yeah, but they had home team now.
Yeah.
It looked like they didn't even know what was going on. Half the crowd walked out in the 60th minute in the first game. Like, have you ever been to a game?
Maybe they had surprise factor. Maybe they had surprise factor in the Asian Cup.
Maybe. I just want to know because y'all are better than that, Asia.
Oh, for sure. For sure. I said after the very first Ecuador-Qatar game, I was like, if Qatar is really the Asian champion and they just got bossed around like that by Ecuador, then this is going to be bad. And so I think we might be looking at more of like, maybe it's a Greece, dude. Maybe it's Greece 2004, baby. Maybe that's what it was.
Maybe.
I mean, I think Iraq has won one Asian Cup. There's a couple like smaller teams that
It's
have
like
won
the upset tournament.
Yeah, it is. Maybe that like AFCON's got a lot too. AFCON and Asian Cup, they have a lot of different winners.
They do. I guess Euros have Greece, so
how many Euros does Sweden have?
none.
You're damn right, baby. All right, we're gonna end the episode there.
Bronze, though, so
you do have a World Cup before. We're not talking about the World Cup. We're talking about Euros. All right, guys. We hope you enjoyed the episode. Like I said, leave your thoughts down below. Biggest winner, biggest. What did I just say? I don't even know what I just said. Biggest winner, biggest loser down below in the comments. If you're listening to us on streaming platforms, guys, I think we have 47 reviews. We only need 3 more, and 47 is my favorite number. But I need y'all to break that. I need you to